How y'all doing today? Been cold outside, so figured we'd make a pot of chili today. I got my pot right here, and in my pot I have about 2 or 3 tablespoons of just vegetable oil. And right here I have some beef that I have diced up. This is sirloin right here that I happen to have bought, but you can use any kind of steak or whatever. Just chop it up, or you can buy stewed meat that's already chopped up, whatever you want. Bet we're gonna throw it in here. Oh shit, let's drop some of it on the floor. This is 1.5 pounds. I don't remember if I said or not. But we're gonna get that brown, get a nice color on it, and we'll be back. Alright guys, we got our meat browned up there, and I'm gonna remove this meat from the pan and show y'all what is next. Man, it's gonna be mighty fine. What we got going on now is some ground beef. Ground beef and the stewed meat, or whatever you want to call it, just the texture of it. I like the texture of it, but we're going to throw this in there. Shit. Now we got the steak removed from the pan, and there was some oil left, and I did go ahead and drain that oil from there because I don't want it real oily. And now what I have is 1 pound of ground beef going in. Now we're going to get that browned up. Now I have diced up 1 medium sweet onion here, just kind of roughly. And I've got 1 yellow bell pepper that I'm dicing up right now. Just like that. And you can use any color pepper. We have got the ground meat browned up. Still a little pink left in it, but it's fine. And I did drain most of the grease out of it, because we do not want it too greasy. At least I don't. And we're going to go ahead and add in our whole sweet onion and our yellow bell peppers. Get that in there. Oh yeah. Stir that around. Now we haven't seasoned anything yet. We haven't seasoned none of it. We're going to go ahead and add in, we're going to be adding a lot of seasonings, but we're going to go ahead and add in some cracked black pepper. And we're going to add in some salt for now. Just a couple pinches. And we're going to give it a stir. And we're just going to cook this until these vegetables start to get a little translucent and sweat down a little bit. And we got it on about medium heat, maybe a little under. It's looking good, looking mighty fine. The onions are starting to get a little translucent, starting to sweat down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and add in our sirloin meat there. Add that in there. And then we're going to go ahead and add in a little bit of seasonings. We'll probably add more later. We got chili powder. We're going to add in about a tablespoon of that. We're going to add in some cumin. Just a little. We're going to add in some garlic powder. Maybe a teaspoon. Who knows? Just as much as you like, guys. Onion powder. I don't think you can have too much garlic powder and onion powder, unless you just dump the whole dang bottle in. Now we're going to give that a stir. And we're just going to cook it just for a few minutes on low heat. And then we're going to start adding some liquids to it. We cook that for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. Just stirring it regularly. And now what we're going to do is add in. This is actually red and gold. Meant to get Rotel. But it's the same shit. This is diced tomatoes with green chilies. Been cooking for about 2 or 3, 4 minutes. And I've been stirring it here and there. And it's looking good. Now what we have is diced tomatoes with green chilies. This is the red gold brand. Rotel makes it. And then there's some off brands and stuff. And 2 cans of that. It's 10 ounces. Go ahead and put that in there. Give it a good mix. After the 2 cans of tomatoes, I filled them up with water. We'll dump 1 can of water in there. And 1 spoonful of better than bouillon. Or you could just use about a cup and a half of beef broth. Whatever you got. I'm going to give that a good stir.
That's not nice to say.
And some tomato sauce. This right here is a big can. I'm only going to use half of it. So actually all you need is a small can of tomato, 1 small can of tomato sauce. Or about 14 ounces. Because it's 28, so I'm going to use half of it. Okay. Now bring it up to a boil. Alright, it's starting to come up to a boil. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on it. We're going to turn it down on low just to let it simmer. We're going to put the lid on it. And we're going to let it cook probably for about an hour with the lid on. And then we'll come back to it. And probably take the lid off. Let it cook a little longer. You'll see. Now it has been simmering. It's been simmering probably for about 2 hours or so. And looking pretty good. Looking pretty dang good. Our chunks of steak are starting to get tender. And that's what you want to look for. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add the beans. And I'm using ranch style beans. Real southern flavor. Oh man. Gonna dump the whole can. Juice and all. And I've got 2 cans of that. I'm gonna dump that in there. Then we're gonna add some more seasoning to it. Okay, now we got the beans in it, and you can add any kind of beans you want in this. You can add kidney beans, pinto beans. You don't have to use the ranch style beans. The ranch style beans have a lot of like chili flavor in them. They got a lot of cumin flavor or whatever. And they're really, really good. Just got a lot of flavor in them. I like them. But I'm going to add just a little bit more seasoning to this. And you want to add the seasoning to your taste. Go ahead and taste it and see, how much seasoning you want. But I'm going to go ahead and add in just a little bit more chili powder. We can get it out of the freaking bottle. Maybe a teaspoon or so. I'm going to add in a little more cracked black pepper. Just a little. And I'm also going to add in some garlic powder. And some onion powder. And this will be the final seasonings. And also, I like to add in a little bit of brown sugar. Tablespoon or so. Maybe 2 tablespoons. I've got another spoonful here. Or, well, tablespoon and a half. I might add a little more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up and I'm going to let this simmer with the lid off for probably another 30 minutes to an hour. And man, it's going to be mighty fine. Let me correct. I meant Western flavor, not Southern flavor. Western flavor. Alright guys, after we added the beans and the rest of the seasoning, we've been simmering about 30 minutes and man, it sure is looking mighty fine, I think. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plate it up and we're going to try it out. Alright guys, here's a chili, sour cream, and I put some sharp cheddar cheese on there. And man, it sure does look mighty fine right there, I tell you. It's hotter than shit, I think. Look at the steam coming off that. Man. Now that right there, guys, that is some mighty fine chili. That's award-winning right there, I think. Man. That beef is so tender. Just delicious, man. Mighty fine. Cheers, y'all, and I'll see you next time.